everyone.
Hello.
And welcome to Kirsty and Brainy's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Briny, and we are going to take a listen to each other's dreams and try to work out
What's going on?
what's going on.
What's going on?
And when I say us this week, I mean us. Kirsty
Us.
has had a dream.
I'm dreaming. Oh my God, I'm dreaming. I've been dreaming.
I just realised I didn't even say the word us. I said ah.
Our dreams.
We're going to listen to us dreams
Us dreams.
and try to figure out grammar.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been dreaming a ton lately. I've not been remembering a lot of them, but a few of them I only have one recorded. One of them I have recorded. They've all been right. So basically, I think the floodgates have opened. Right.
Yeah.
I've had to stop my ADHD meds, and as a result, the dream dam in my brain has burst. And instead of now just enjoying some dreams, I'm enjoying all of them at once, which is why it's hard to remember them.
All the dreams.
They're just pummeling me in my sleep. I'm just like, too many dreams. But every now and then I can wake up and remember a bit. So
it's like you've been tapping away at the dream pinata.
Exactly.
And it's just burst open.
Exactly.
Have them all.
All of them. I think. I don't know if the one that I recorded was a fever dream or not. I really can't remember because I had a fever the other day and I did say to you like, I've had some fever dreams, hooray. But I can't remember if this one was in fact one of those dreams. It might not be. But yeah, a dream. A dream for you and me.
I just like that, like comfort zone where we celebrate fevers. It's good content.
Honestly, I think it was a self-inflicted fever. I'm going to be honest. Like,
what did you do?
So I had a lovely bath, right? Mm-hmm. We were all going to watch a movie together, and on Discord.
In the bath?
Not in the bath. On Discord. Like it was like we're going to watch a lovely movie at 9:00. I was like, right, okay, it's like 7:30. I can have a nice bath. So I had a lovely bath, and I must have sat in that bath for a good 90 minutes. And
she pruning.
I was pruning, and I love a hot bath or a hot shower, right? So I had the whole water running like the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, I was great. And I got out and I was like, I'm so cozy now. And I sat down at the PC to get ready to watch this movie. And I had my hoodie on and I just went, I'm so cold.
Oh, no.
And I was like shivering for the rest of the night. And then I got a headache like an hour and a half into the film. It was a long old film, so I had a long time to go yet. So I moved from the PC to my iPad. I was watching on my iPad, and I went to bed. And at that point, I started getting really warm, and I was like,
"Oh no!
I think I have a fever."
Yeah.
So yeah, I just had a horrible fever and a very, 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 very bad migraine, and I was like, I think it might have been the bath.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they could turn on me, so I've always trusted a bath, but no, they're bad. Never wash.
But I guess the silver lining is you had a dream.
Yeah, I did.
The things you'll do, because it's sort of interesting. As a little cheeky segue, someone did suggest in the comments a while ago that we could do things. We could start doing like a little dream experiments. Mm-hmm. Obviously not as extreme as giving yourself a fever and a migraine.
But go hard or go home. Okay.
Just things like, maybe you could eat a lot of cheese, or I could drink a lot of apple juice, because I think those are things that are meant to like stimulate dreams. There was that one I mentioned the other week about the person who ate raw meat. Maybe we won't go that deep.
Maybe not that far.
But it could be a thing that we could try doing little sleep experiments. If anyone has any old wives' tale, I'm an old wife, so maybe I've got some tales I could suggest.
Oh, true.
Because there are things like for Christmas I got given this little like dream. I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a little glass it's like test tube shaped. It's got a smooth bottom. How I like them. And it's filled with like various things that are meant to be good for dreams. It's got like lavender and rosemary and different crystals and stuff. And I think you're meant to put it under your pillow and it's meant to like bring you dreams. So I could try that. I do worry it would break under my pillow. So maybe next to the bedside table.
Yeah. I think we should like make a list of things that are supposed to encourage dreams, and we'll test them out and report back next time.
Report our very scientific findings.
Yeah. So like it's stuff like eating food, and then maybe something on like the complete other end, like I put a healing crystal under my pillow to see if it would make me dream. Stuff like that. It's like, right.
Well, interestingly, there are things that are meant to give you quite specific dreams. So I was reading that folklore book that we mentioned on the Folklands episode a couple weeks ago. And in that, it says if you, like, originally people would have their wedding cake and they would send out slices to friends who couldn't make it to the wedding. And if you were unmarried, you would sleep with the wedding cake under your pillow and it would give you a dream of your future marriage partner.
Oh my God. All right. Someone get married and send me cake.
Send her the cake. But it's just like, there's a few different mentions of things like that that are just so weirdly specific. I am sort of like, we should give this a go. We should
let's
test these dream theories.
Is anyone getting married?
I'm going to a wedding in May.
Perfect.
So if no one else is getting married before then, I might be able to steal you a slice of wedding cake.
Hell yeah.
Smush it under your pillow. Oh my gosh.
What else can we add to the list?
I'm trying to think of like other... I mean, there must have been things that like parents say to kids growing up, like, oh, don't do this, or you'll have dreams of this. But maybe that's more of like a old days of yore style thing. But yeah, we'd brainstorm it, come up with some ideas. If anyone has any suggestions, can let us know as well. But
yeah, if you know anything, that's our question for this week. If you know any like old wives' tales that are supposed to make you dream more, like stuff like eat cheese before bed and stuff like that, then put it in the comments and we'll add it to the list for our scientific experiment.
Although I do worry that we're going to get people being like, oh, yeah, you should, you have to like sleep with a pine cone in your pajamas. Just do it. Don't look it up.
Okay, please provide citation with every suggestion. Thank you.
Nice. Well, speaking of dreams, would you like to listen to your dream?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Nice.
Okay.
Count us in, baby.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello. I had a dream that I was in a school classroom. I was sitting there and I had lots of stuff next to me, like my bags and junk. My art teacher, Mr. Evans, was there. He was sort of to my right, facing the class, so I had my back to the board, really, but it was a weird place to be sitting. But he was teaching the class. The tables were all, like, assembled in a circle around the room, so they were all touching, like, going around the edge of the room. He was teaching something, but I can't remember what, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to, but I kept getting distracted by a big tub that was next to me that had, like, stuff in it. I think it was just, like, a rubbish thing, but it was quite big, and I looked in it, and at first it had, like, all, like, mirrors in it. They were, like, makeup mirrors, but on one side you could put a picture. It was, like, a picture frame, and then you flipped it, and it was a mirror, and they had all different sizes. And I was like, oh, cool, I could do one of those. Take that. So while the teacher was talking, I just reached in, like, grabbed one and put it next to my stuff. And I sat back down and he gave me a funny look and I was like, you alright? And then we carried on with the lesson. I think he kept trying to teach us stuff. I can't remember for the life of me what it was, but he was trying. And then eventually I looked in the big tub again, and they had these little backpacks, and they were brown, and they were like made out of like faux fur. They were like fuzzy brown backpacks. And I was like, oh my god, I need one. So I was like rummaging through, trying to find a good one. And then my teacher was like, what are you doing? You need to stop. Just sit back down and listen. And I was just like, yeah, I know. Sorry, I shouldn't be rummaging through the rubbish thing. Sorry, I'll do it at the end. Sorry. So I sat back down again. And at that point, all of my stuff next to me on the floor was like all over the place. And I was in the corner of the room. And the big rubbish thing was there too, so there wasn't a lot of space. So a lady, I assume a teaching assistant, I don't think she was a main teacher, she like walked past and she sort of almost tripped over it. I was like, oh, sorry, and I sort of straightened it up. And then I think at some point the lesson ended and she came and sat down next to me, or in front of me, and was like, you really need to focus more. And I was like, I know, but like I just kept drifting off the whole time, and you know, I'm off my meds and I just can't focus properly. And she's like, I know. And then she said like, oh, what meds are you on current, or were you on? And then I told her my dose and like what meds they were. And then she pulled up a piece of paper and started writing something down as if she was going to tell me something. And then she went somewhere, I don't know where she disappeared to. And the classroom became a bit more like a kid's classroom around me. And my niece was running around and she sort of ran up to me and was like, hello. And I'm like, oh. And I picked her up. And on the wall there was a big like map of the UK. And it was split into like, I want to say counties. And it had like a dinosaur that would have lived there. And in Wales, it just had a dragon, except it wasn't. I mean, it was like, it looked like a dinosaur, but it just had little dragon wings, like tiny ones. And I picked up my niece and I went over to it and I was like, why has it got a dragon for Wales on this map? And then I was like, I just turned to her and said, dragons could have lived anywhere, they've got wings. Because I didn't want to ruin it for her. And then everyone in the class chuckled, and that was it. The end.
The
end.
Dragons can live anywhere, silly.
Silly.
Aww. I mean, unsurprisingly, a school dream for you.
There it is. So I don't think this was a fever dream. I don't know if I said in our group chat what any of the fever dreams I had were, but I'll have to go and double check. But yeah, no, this was not. This was just a couple of nights ago, I think. It was just a regular old dream that I had, and I woke up and recorded.
Yeah.
But I had a little look in the old dream book, and you know, school's there, classic.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it's the standard, like, oh, it's anxiety about how well you're being perceived by others or how you're performing in waking life. I'm like, okay, cool, anxiety. Then I went to mirror and it says, a symbol of the mind. The mirror suggests the art of reflection, looking at the reality of who you are or seeing yourself in a different way. Do you need to reflect on something that's bothering you? Blah, 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 blah. So anxiety. And then I went to luggage because I tried to look up bag because the little backpack was in the bin too. And it said she luggage. So I went to luggage. Luggage and suitcases can suggest a desire to travel or broaden your horizons. Very cool. But they can also represent emotional baggage that you carry around in your head. So I think that one is anxiety, maybe. So
like a little smorgasbord of anxiety.
Yeah,
here.
like a little cheese board, but it's just full of anxiety.
It's like when you have like triple chocolate cookies. It's like, oh, 3 different types of anxiety in this one. Oh, lovely.
Delicious.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I did find it interesting how there was that little bit of like dream awareness where you were saying like, oh, I'm off my meds. And it's almost like you were realizing like, oh, that's why I know I'm in a dream sort of thing. That's why I'm having a dream, because I'm off them now.
Yeah, kind of. It did sort of intersect with reality quite a lot, like that particular part, because I did just like reel off what I'd been taking, like like when a doctor's like, you want any medication? It's like, oh yes, I'm on this and this. So yeah, that was sort of a more realistic part. It's like sort of like when you read a book in a dream and you know exactly what you're reading and you're like, oh, I remember that when I wake up. It's sort of, I said these meds and I assumed that they were correct.
Yeah.
But I think, man, I feel like I bang on about it all the bloody time, but obviously this is about my ADHD and meds.
Yeah.
And I think that was, well, it was only a few days ago, I think, but yeah, basically like for a week or two now, I've not been taking them because of like health concerns. And I think it was just that. It was like an accumulation of that, really. And the thing is, like, it could be to do with like, again, like how people perceive you and stuff. Like, I found that when I was on them, despite like the side effects, I was a lot more sort of bright and happy, if you know what I mean. Like, even like my mum said, like when she came to visit, she was like, God, you are like so sort of different and more sort of perked up and stuff. And now I'm not taking them. I'm like, oh no. So maybe. Like a couple of times I've had to message people like after we've like had a chat on Discord or something, and I'm like, was I okay there? Was I a bit like short with you? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like a little worry I've got.
Is
right
it
now.
just that you're worrying about it? Like, you just have been aware of it, or have there been things that you've specifically thought like, oh, I did do this? Or is it just a stinky anxiety thing sort of making you worry about it?
It's probably just a stinky anxiety thing, to be honest. It's probably just a lot of like, oh, I'm not taking them now, so the good side effects are also gone, and that's not good. But to be honest, on the whole, like I am feeling better. Like I genuinely am feeling better. Like it got to the point with like, and I know that a lot of people have been like, oh, I'm so glad you talk about like ADHD and stuff. I'm looking into getting meds and stuff, like, or getting diagnosed. So it's good to know like the other side, because I think a lot of people think like, oh, as soon as I get the meds, it'll be perfect. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Like I had some good side effects, but I also had some bad side effects. Like my blood pressure like absolutely spiked, and in the evenings, like my heart would be beating like crazy, and I felt quite sick because of that. And so like it's not always like the be all and end all, and it's good to know that sometimes they're not perfect.
It's a bit like the guy slapping the duct tape on the broken water tank meme. Like, you can't just be like, bam, it's fixed. It's just perfect.
It's great. Yeah, it's all good now. But I think like we've always talked about how like, if someone tells you, oh, don't do that, it's like, oh, I'm not going to do that now.
Yeah.
They're being a bit indignant. I think as a result of stopping the meds, I found I've been a little bit more productive. Because I'm a bit like, well, that's not going to stop me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take them. I don't care. I'm going to do the washing up right now. Fuck you. I'm doing it. But we'll see how long that lasts.
Something I've been trying to do is not let myself sit down, because I've seen so many things now saying like the ADHD sit is the end of productivity. And it is true. I'll be like,
it is true.
Oh, I'm just getting you've got the nighttime routine with the bunnies. And part of it is that they've got two little heaty pads whilst it's cold, and they go in the microwave for 6 minutes. And I'm just like, I'll just sit down whilst I do those. And now I'm like, nope, I'm going to stay stood up, because otherwise I will literally sit there for 20 minutes listening to the microwave beep every minute to tell me it's done. by the way. It's been done for a really long time now. I'm just there like, yeah, but just 2 more TikToks. Oh, I'll just do it. So now I'm like, don't let yourself sit down.
This is me in the bath. I was just looking at Instagram reels for the whole thing, and then I got a fever. Don't do it.
Just never sit down.
Can't watch Instagram reels in the shower.
Yeah.
Or can I?
I think, one of the things... Wait, do Instagram reels immediately go on to the next one when you finish watching it?
No, it's really annoying. They just sort of jump up and down, like, swipe to the next one. It's like, just go. Yeah. Just do it.
Just to make sure that there's some sort of engagement there that you are actually doing something.
The thing is, though, like, if I want to watch it over and over again, like if it's a recipe or something, it just keeps jumping up and down. And I'm like, no, stop it.
Yeah.
So I have to swipe up and then swipe down again.
Dear, oh dear.
Dear, oh dear.
Sort of related to the ADHD thing, I wonder if, like, from what I've heard, like, a lot of people say that when, like, if they've gotten undiagnosed, they say, like, back in school, it's the sort of people who are always told, like, you've got a lot of potential, you're very promising. You sort of, this feeling of, like, well, I had potential, so if I've not done anything with that, I failed. It's on me because I had the potential, sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And I wonder if that's why you get drawn back to school.
Potentially. I was one of those kids. Like, I wasn't like one of the ones that was like straight A's all the time, but I was like, you know, I remember when I was like 11, they were like, oh, you've got the reading ability of a 16-year-old. And I was like, wow, I'm so good. And it's like, Now I don't read.
So I feel like, when does that peter off? Because surely if
exactly,
like, you know, do you get to the point where it's like, well, I'm 36, but I read like a 40-year-old. I'm so ahead.
I read like a 90-year-old.
When is that level off point?
I read like a 40-year-old. I need my glasses or I can't see a fucking thing.
I'm just reading smut and trash now. It's just Mills and Boon books in a caravan. That's all I read.
It's so dumb. It's such a dumb thing to sort of measure people by, isn't it?
That reminds me, actually. So I'm in the office today because I was recording something with Lewis this morning. And whilst we were waiting for them to get set up, I was like, oh, look, I'm reading this book at the moment. And the office is very quiet. Like, there's a lot of people in, but everyone's doing work. And he was like, oh, what's it about? And he started reading the back of the book. And then out loud, he just goes, Sapphic? I was like, Lewis, pipe down.
Oh, my God. That reminds me of another dream.
Oh.
Not Sapphic. The Office. I had a very brief dream last night where 4th floor were moved to a different floor in the building. So the 4th floor half of the office was completely empty. And in fact, everything was empty. And they were like, we're rearranging the entire office. And this is just Yogs here now. And 4th floor is on a different floor altogether.
Oh.
There you go. And then nothing else happened. That was just it. But I just have that. I just remember seeing the office just being completely empty. And like Lewis was there, like moving a chair. Like, oh yeah, they've moved to a different floor now.
When we were trying to like... So I won't give any spoilers because it's for a video that's not out for a couple of weeks. But when they were saying like the areas of the floor that we're allowed to go into for this video, they were like, okay, so you anywhere on the 4th floor, but just not the 4th floor parts of it. And I was just like, wait, what? Anywhere on the 4th floor, just not 4th floor. Okay,
Got
that's
it,
fine. Right. Good to know. Dear, oh dear. What else is in the dream?
So I think the dinosaur bit probably was thinking about Lyme Regis again.
Oh, yay.
Not only that, but I don't know when I dreamt this. I think it might have been after my mum went home, but when my mum was over, I got her watching the Lyme Regis fossils on YouTube. When did I record this? I recorded it on Thursday. What are we on now? Monday. Okay, no, it would have been before my mum came over. Fair enough. So I just had fossils on the brain in that case.
As you often do. I mean, I guess I was sending you photos of that fossil kit I did.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, that might have been it.
I did a National Geographic fossil kit, and it said it contained 15 fossils. It only had 14 in.
No.
It didn't have any coral. That was the one that was missing.
Ah.
It did have some very lovely other things, but
It looked really cool.
It started off like I was so like graceful. I was very careful, like slowly chipping away, brushy with my little brush. And then when I'd found 14 and still hadn't found the other one, I was literally just snapping it and smashing it. And I was just amongst this cloud of like plaster dust, just like, where is it? Reveal your secret. It's like the descent into chaos was swift. It sort of felt like, when you do Power Wash Sim, like I swear 99% takes the same time as the final 1%.
Yeah.
Just trying to go around finding that tiny little, where is it? Tiny bit of dirt somewhere. But I don't think it was there. I just threw it away because I was like, I don't think, I'd like broken everything down so that it was smaller than the smallest one I'd found. And I was like, I don't think it's in there.
When you were a kid, did you ever have those Jaffer Cakes lunch packs? They were in like a little orange like plastic tub with a blue like peel back lid, and they were meant to have 5 Jaffer Cakes in, and sometimes you would get 6. And it's like, I hit the jackpot. But sometimes it would have 4.
No.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, I'm going hungry today. I can't believe it. Where's the other Jaffer Cake?
Can't work under these conditions.
And then you smash the packet. Like, where is it?
Swings and roundabouts, I guess.
That's it.
It's like a fortune for how your day's going to go.
That's it. I only got 4 Jaffer Cakes today. It's going to be a bad day.
It's a bad day. Stay inside. It's a bad luck day. It's like in Stardew.
Don't go to the mines today. I only got 4 Jaffer Cakes.
You will be weak to the monsters.
I don't know if they do those anymore. I feel like I should just go and get some and like see. It's like getting a double yolker when you crack an egg. Like,
you could do like an unboxing stream,
Jaffer
like
Cake
when people
unboxing.
open like 100 booster packs of Magic the Gathering or something. You just open
just Jaffer Cakes.
100 Jaffer Cake.
Right, we're gonna get 6 in here, chat. Let's see.
It's like I was thinking of because I streamed doing the fossil kit. I was thinking I could send this to National Geographic and be like, look, you can see it beginning to end. You can tell that I'm not complaining without reason. And then part of me wondered if it was a bit like, IKEA, when I could just call up and be like, hello, I didn't get my coral.
I'm missing 1 bolt for my Billy bookcase. Please send.
Yes. Have you seen that thing that people supposedly do where over like a year,
yes,
they say,
I know
I've got one
say.
missing bit, and then eventually they get the entire piece of furniture.
That's so good.
They're like, if you've got the blueprints, you can just slowly build it.
I don't know how they do it though, because I have a Kallax bookshelf, and when we got it, the top bit is dented. So we like put in a request for another like bit at the top, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll ship it out, and they never did. And I've still got a big dent in it, so I don't know how these people are getting whole pieces of furniture, honestly.
Oh,
because I couldn't even get the top of my bookshelf.
I love assembling furniture.
I do, but not if it's really bad furniture, because I think I've told you about this bloody shelf that I bought the other day. On stream now, like before I had just a cat tree behind me that I'd put loads of plushies on, and poor Tabs could never use this cat tree. So I've moved the cat tree to the side of my desk now, and I bought like a corner shelf.
Yeah.
And it was 30 quid from B&M, so it's garbage. And I had to put it together, and putting together a Billy bookcase from IKEA was a million times easier than putting together this stupid £30 shelf. Like, none of the bolts fit where they were supposed to go. It was really stupid. Like, sometimes when you assemble furniture, right, and it has like the hole pre-drilled, and then you put the little plastic bit in, and it's meant to like turn to like lock the bolt in place sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this had that, but it was too small for any of the bolts. So I just had to go to my brother and be like, can I borrow a screwdriver? And I just brute forced the whole thing and drilled into the plastic piece. Because the pieces were the wrong size.
It just has to be done sometimes.
And it was so poorly made that, like, as I was putting the panels, or not the panels, but like the pieces on, they would just be like snapping.
Oh, jeez.
So I had to just like get extra screws and screw them in place. It's really bad. Never buy furniture from B&M.
Oh my gosh.
But I put together my Billy bookcase and that was great. I had a lot of fun with that one. Yeah, I love putting together furniture.
Good times. I really want to start doing those like little model kits. You know when you get like the Book Nook ones?
Yeah.
I really want to do one of those. I've jonesed for it for so long. I've not really had an excuse to, but maybe I don't need an excuse. Maybe a want is enough.
Exactly.
But I get like so many recommendations for like cute little model making things on Instagram, and I'm just like, "Arr."
You reminded me of another dream. See what I mean? The dream dam has broken and I've just got snippets. So many little baby snippets. It's not even a full dream. Again, I just remember doing like a doll's house type build, except it was Minecraft.
Oh.
So it was in Minecraft and like I'd put down like a little flower pot and I would paint, you know, a pattern on the side of it and be like, there we go, that's a flower pot. But it was all in Minecraft.
Yeah.
But I was making like doll's house type furniture for my Minecraft house.
Oh.
So that was that.
That sounds so cute.
I'm just going to keep remembering tiny little things that I've dreamt.
I just have to keep on saying random things and eventually it will like trigger a memory of it.
You've just got to do like the Winter Soldier code words and then I'll be like, oh my God, I had a dream.
Doll's house, spaghetti,
Oh.
Dan Aykroyd. That reminds me, actually.
A dream?
I was no, but just yesterday I was asking. I need to get like a pillar candle for this. My witchy friend is going to teach me some Ostara rituals, and it involves a pillar candle. So I said to a friend, like, do you know anywhere in town that I can get a pillar candle? And he was like, what's a pillar candle? And I was trying to think how to describe it.
What's a pillar candle with you?
A pillar? I barely know her. So I was just trying to think how to describe it. And I was like, the one that looks like candles do in Minecraft. Because I was like, that's a language he'll understand.
Oh my God.
So that's, you know, what do you think of it? Like, it's not in anything. It's
honestly,
not
yeah.
Like a skinny church one. It's just a candle.
It's just a candle.
Just a little guy.
Quite a big guy, actually. Big earthy.
True. Chonky guy. But I think there's one in the office I might steal. So I might grab that.
Shame you didn't get that Diablo box with the big plastic candle.
Oh, yeah. This is an example of a time where Kirsty and I have the perfect relationship because I hate stuff.
I love stuff.
I get sent stuff by games, whereas I can be like, do you want the stuff?
Yes.
The funny thing is, like, I remember I literally looked through that box in front of Alex and I was like, oh, there's an art book. Why? Who wants an art book? And then I showed it to you and you literally opened it and went, it's got an art book. I was like, okay, she's perfect.
I love art book.
It just works.
It just works.
Together.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder, had you, like, with this dream, had you seen your niece recently? What do you think your niece was doing? What's she doing there?
Yeah, what's she doing? The last time I saw my niece was probably when I went to pick up that screwdriver.
Ah.
Or when I dropped it off a couple of days later, I think.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago, a little while. But yeah, I guess I probably saw pictures because we've got like a family group chat and I'm always getting pictures. So, but yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, if I ever dream about my niece, I think she's quite representative of, like, not necessarily like motherly feelings, but, you know, like looking after something. Because I'm the youngest in my family and I've only got I've got like 8 cousins, but only one of them is younger than me, and I didn't actually meet her until I was like in adulthood. So when my niece came along, it was like my first experience of looking after a small thing, a youngling. So I think for me, if she's in Dream, she's very much like, I must protect
Aww.
the little one. I mean, she's not so little anymore. She'll be old enough to have a Twitch account soon.
Oh
so
my
she better
gosh.
follow me. I'm going to make her an account for her birthday and then get her to follow me.
Tell her to subscribe.
I can subscribe. So yeah. But I guess, do you have younger siblings?
Yeah, my little brother.
Yeah.
He's 2 years younger than me though, and he was always a pain in the ass. So
See, I am that pain in the ass.
Oh dear.
Reminds me of those. Have you seen the meme that's going around where people are like, "I'm the older child. Of course, I had to." Blah 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 blah, and then it'll be like, I'm the middle child. And then they just get cut off, and it's like, I'm the younger child. Of course, I'm the favorite. Stuff like that. And then the middle child's just getting short and short. They're just like, I'm the cut off.
That's so good.
And it's always the comments are full of people being like, I am the middle child, and this is accurate.
Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking back to this dream. Like, I know that one of my art teachers was there, Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans was always a bit of a hard ass. Like, before, like, he's one of those teachers where, like, you grow up, you're in the lower school, and they're the one that sort of teaches the upper school classes, and they're scary, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he was nice. He's all right. He was just a bit of a dick. But in a nice way.
He was nice. He was a dick. But...
Yeah, but in a nice way. Mr. Evans, if you're listening, I mean this in a positive way. But it's weird that he like showed up because when I did A-level art, he was one of my teachers, and honestly, like he was like really. He was one of those teachers that did little things that you kind of remember, like, you know, like things that you're like, yeah, that was actually really good what he did there. I remember that. When I started doing A-level art, I was really, really hung up on details. Like, I would try and paint, like, photorealistically. It wasn't very good. Like, it wasn't great what I was doing. But I would get watercolors and the smallest brush I could, and I would try and just be the most detailed person going. And then one day he gave me a paintbrush that was an inch thick. And he was like, you're only allowed to use this now. And I was like, oh, no. Okay. And then from then on, I started like looking at a lot of like Van Gogh paintings and like really loose like brushstrokes and stuff. And I was able to churn out so much art, and all of it was so much better than the shit I'd been painting before. And I was like, wow, like this is, and now like the way I draw is so like sketchy and stuff. And I think that's all because of him. Like, and I always like remember like, oh, Mr. Evans, yeah, he was all right.
Oh,
he was a good dude. But I remember when I was leaving sixth form, and everyone, you know, had done their UCAS and was going to uni, but I hadn't. I went to do a year at college for art instead, and I did a foundation course. And I remember being in the, what's the word? It's not, we don't call it a cafeteria. What do we call it?
Canteen.
Canteen. I was in the canteen, and he was there, and my head of year was there. My head of year was lovely. Like, I really get on with her. Her name was Bryony with a Y.
Ah.
And and I remember like he was like, oh, have you done your UCAS? Are you going to uni? I was like, oh no, I'm doing a foundation. And I just remember him looking at me like the most disappointed, like stern face. And I was just like, don't want to go to uni yet. And my head of year was just like, she don't want to go to uni yet. Let her do what she wants. And he just like fully was like expecting me to go to uni. I was like, nope, sorry, Mr. Evans, you're not right this time. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But no, he was cool. So yeah, seeing him in the dream was nice. He was all right. But he was a bit of a dick. But in a funny way.
Yeah. In a just foibles.
Foibles. He was the kind of teacher like where I remember there was a couple of guys in our A-level class that did photography, And I remember one time they handed the camera to him to like show him what they'd been doing. And it was like MySpace era photography. Like it was not good.
Yeah.
And I remember actually I'd been playing with the camera and I took a picture of something in the classroom. So yeah, my friend handed this camera to Mr. Evans and Mr. Evans was going, crap, 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 crap. I like this one. And my friend Reese turned to me and was like, that's the one that you took. I was like, oh, you're welcome. So yeah, he was very much the disappointed dad, Mr. Evans. Oh, bless him.
Yeah. It must be like so difficult being a school art teacher because you must get like, I guess once you're into AS and A levels, you've got people who are there because they more want to be there.
Yeah.
But when you're in the like GCSE level and before of like, these kids just have to do this because it's school.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
just have to see so much just like stuff.
Yeah. The art teachers in my school were very much like, I don't know, like the oddballs of the teaching staff, I think. Like they were the ones, they were kind of like, you know, me going to my form room during lunchtime to sit and play cards. You know, the art teachers would sit up in the art department and eat their lunch together sort of thing rather than going to the staff room. And I remember one of them was a goth. Another one was just like an old lady called Cherry, and she had like a bob and tiny little round specs. And then there was Mr. Evans, and it was just the three of them, and they were like a little trio. And I loved all of them; they were great. But yeah, like the younger students, like especially, I won't say her name because I remember she was very into privacy, and not that it would make any difference. But the one that was a goth, people would like pick on her because she was a goth. And I remember like the younger kids would like, and same with all of them, to be honest, except Mr. Evans because he was just terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was hard, like, and so people would play up in their lessons and stuff. And it was the same with like tech. I remember, like especially like textiles. The people would play up all the time. I could not be a teacher. I would not have the patience.
Yeah.
Maybe like a college teacher or an A-level teacher, but anything other than that, nah. No way.
I had such a flashback then to, I was in DTEC and design technology.
DTEC.
People who don't call it DTEC. And the teacher had said like, oh, there's people being shown around the school today. So everyone like be on your best behavior. And I think Finding Nemo had maybe just come out. And someone was trying to tell us about it, and they were trying to say the word anemone.
Oh no.
But they kept saying it wrong. So then literally like half the class were just sat there going, anemone, and we turn around and there's just these people being shown past the classroom. And it's just a group of kids going, anemone. And they're just like, oh, okay. It's just the worst timing, but it was so funny.
That's so good. I remember when like we'd have Ofsted come around the school as well, and we had to just pretend to be the most perfect little angels. It's like it's Ofsted week. If you misbehave, you're in fucking trouble.
Yeah. Oh jeez. I remember there were times when like my school would have us show parents around the school for like prospective students. And
really?
I had to show these parents round for like, I can't remember what year I would have been in. But it was like these really posh parents. I didn't go to a posh school whatsoever, but they were really like, And they were like, the dad was like, oh, so what do you like to do here? And I was like, oh, well, you know, I really enjoy playing like basketball because I'm tall. I like basketball. Mm-hmm. And he literally replied like, oh, they let the girls do that here? And I was just like, oh. I was like, yes, they do.
Lucky you, we didn't get to play basketball. We had to do netball.
See, in my primary school, it was like the boys play football and the girls play netball.
Yeah.
Whereas
that's what it was like in my senior school.
Well, we weren't allowed to play football. We were allowed to play what was seen as like the easier sport of rounders, but rounders is terrifying.
Yeah, we played so much rounders.
It's like, here, have a really hard ball thrown directly at you by a classmate. Like, no, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I was like the only one who figured out that the ball is going to be going through that square that people stand on to hit the ball. So I moved slightly to the left. And as a result, I could hit the ball. So everyone was like, Kirsty has to do the batting all the time. And I was like, okay. But to just move to the left. Thank you, Wii Sports. So that was my rounders experience.
I used to like doing badminton.
Oh, I love badminton. I loved badminton
goofy.
So much. Yeah, I hate tennis, love badminton.
Yeah, like, do you want to play with something called a ball?
No.
Do you want to play with a shuttlecock? Yes.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
It's just a funny little guy.
Just a little guy.
Got that little head, got that fancy dress. I love it.
So fancy. I would love to play more badminton. I miss playing badminton. It was so much fun.
There must be badminton courts in Bristol. We can go next time you're down.
Hell
Do you know what?
yeah.
I really want to play boules.
Boules?
Boules. Because I only ever played in France, because it was like one of the main things I would do with my family on holiday. I always call it boule, whereas Alex is like, do you mean bowls?
It's bowls, isn't it?
And I'm like, no, I mean a boule.
Boules?
That is what we play.
When I was a kid, I had a bowl set. So it had like multicolored balls in it and the little jack. And we would always play on holiday. Or not even on holiday, we'd just play in the garden. So I
just
always
love
played
it
boules.
so much. It's like land curling. Well, no, I guess curling is on land. It's like summer curling.
Summer curling.
So I guess you don't brush the floor. I would love to try curling. I think there is a place in Bristol where you can do it. But, oh my gosh.
I would love to try, but I think I'd be bloody crap at it.
Would you reckon you'd go to ham on the broom and just everything would slide, get overexcited?
Do you have to do the brooming yourself, though? Or are there broom people for that?
I don't know. Do they like rotate? Do like one time you chuck and the other time you go onto the broom team or something?
But then you can sabotage. What if you don't broom enough?
Well, I think you only broom for your team.
Oh, I see.
I think they have like a little...
So you can't do one-on-one.
Or maybe they do. Do you know what? How much I've watched during the Winter Olympics. None of that sentence made sense. But I powered through regardless. Do you know how much I've curling during Winter Olympics? I've watched so much, and yet I've never actually paid attention to how it works. I just get too excited to watch the little shimmy broom bit.
Just love the broom.
It's good stuff.
But yeah, badminton was my favourite sport at school, I think.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't like netball.
No, it's
Didn't
boring.
like netball at all. It's boring. And there's always the girls that were on the netball team, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'll just stand at the back.
Because I've always been tall, it was just like, I choose Brownie for goal defense. And I'm like, yay, I get to stand and put my arm in front of a smaller child.
Yeah.
That's me for the next hour.
I actually did kind of enjoy playing football. Like on the very rare occasions we did play football in PE. I actually really enjoyed it, but we just didn't because girls aren't allowed to play. We've got to play netball. Okay.
Yeah. Growing up in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Like, were you allowed trousers in your school?
I was, yeah. The girls' school in the town that I went to school, so there's a girls' school, boys' school, and then like a mixed school, and then I went to the mixed school. But when I was like in year 6 and we were going around the schools looking, I went to the girls' school open day, and one of the things they said, actually no, I think they still had to wear skirts then. They did still. I was going to say that they just like abolished that rule, but no, I'm pretty sure they had to wear skirts because I remember I had a friend and her mum was there and she was like, "You're not going to be wearing a bloody skirt. You're going to be wearing trousers." And I think I knew a few people that ended up going to the school that I went to because we were allowed to wear trousers there.
Yeah,
that's just nuts to think about, isn't it? That's crazy.
It's so archaic. Yeah.
But the girls weren't allowed to wear ties. The boys had to wear ties in my school. The girls weren't allowed. And if the girls did wear a tie, like I had a girl in my year group who she was quite androgynous and she liked to wear a tie. And she had to really defend her right to wear this tie. And it was such a big thing. Like, the teachers really didn't like you getting away with wearing a tie. It's like, no, it's for boys, because in business, a girl won't wear a tie. And it's like, oh, go away. If a girl wants to wear a tie in the office, they can wear a bloody tie.
Because we didn't have ties in my school, so I didn't realise what a pioneer Avril Lavigne actually was.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She came along and all of a sudden we all wore ties.
Let's get those ties on.
I remember literally being taught by the boy who worked at Claire's Accessories how to tie a tie because I would go in to buy them because of that being like the trend at the time.
I remember I had a birthday party in year 6 and 2 of the girls turned up in full like Avril Lavigne dress. Like they both turned up in the cargo pants, like the top, like the white top and the tie, loose tie. They might have even had fingerless gloves on, I'm not sure. And they both had straightened their hair. And I was like, well, there they are. Welcome.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
What a time.
What a time. What a time. Yeah, that's really unlocked a memory how we weren't allowed to wear ties.
Yeah. I think my school might now have ties. I think it's become like an academy or something, but it was never like that. Like I remember when Hoodies got banned. Because the word hoodie suddenly meant like
it was
a
Asbo.
thug.
Yeah,
like, oh, if you're, I saw a bunch of hoodies hanging out on that street, sort of thing. And I was the only kid in school that was still allowed to wear one because I'd been wearing this like corn follow the leader hoodie since my first date. Like, I always just wore that hoodie. And then they got banned, but I still wore mine every day and no one said anything.
Aww.
Because I think it was my own uniform at that point.
They were talking about bringing blazers in at my school, like around the time I was leaving, but I don't think they ever did it. Our school was like, and in saying this, like some people might know exactly what school it is if they're from the area, but the lower school had these bright red jumpers, like absolutely like so bright. And so like, the lower school were just known as red jumpers. And the red jumpers were really, like the jumpers themselves, not the people, were really scratchy and low quality. Like they were horrible. Like they're the kind of like plastic material, like because I chewed my jumper a lot. If you put it in your mouth and chewed it, it would be like squeaky. That kind of material.
I can feel that.
Yeah, you know exactly what kind of material I'm talking about.
Oh, my teeth hurt now.
Yeah, it was, God, those were the jumpers. But then when you went into year 10, year 11, you got a grey jumper and they were a little bit softer.
Were they tasty?
They were, yeah. My grey jumper, I chewed the shit out of it. My right arm was fucked.
Oh my gosh.
I had to sew my jumper back together because I chewed it so much. I don't have ADHD. Ha ha ha. No.
Did you ever do the thing where you'd like eventually your jumper would weaken enough that you could start sticking your thumbs through it?
I got beyond that point because I chewed the hole there instead.
Oh my gosh. She took matters into her own hands.
I did. Oh my God. They're like, did you fidget at school? I'm like, let me think about that.
The funny thing is, like, I don't chew my jumpers. I used to in school, be a little nibbler. But now Jerry chews on my jumper sleeves and he has a preference of which one he likes.
Doesn't
There's
like
a
the
certain
squeaky
jumper.
stuff.
Yeah, he must have like good taste, my boy. There's one jumper in particular that oh my gosh, he goes mad for it. He bloomin' loves those sleeves. It's one of the Yogs ones. Really likes it.
Aw.
My boy.
Boy. What a boy. I'm trying to think of any other stupid rules our school had. I know that we had front of house. Like, they had the jobs that, like, they would give to students, which really the teachers should have been doing, like peer mentoring and stuff like that. Like, oh, you're in sixth form, here's a year 7 to teach them to read, thanks. Okay.
Oh, I used to love that, though. Like, when I was in primary school, when you're in year 6, you would get to help the year 2s to read.
Okay, that's slightly better. That's cute.
You got like assigned your child. It's weird because like at the time I remember feeling so grown up and looking after this little kid, but I must have been like 10. I was still little.
Yeah.
But you feel like, oh yes, I'm the grown up in this situation now. And there was this little girl called Abigail, and I helped teach her to read, and she's literally the only person who I have ever let me call Bri, because she would call me that and I would love it. Whereas if anyone else says that, I'm just like, shh, take that out your mouth. You get it out your little mouth right now.
I remember I did it in like year 6. No, probably like year 4 actually, or year 3. But it wasn't with younger students. It was with another kid that was in my class. I guess it was just because they were like, you're good at reading. Help this kid.
Yeah. Wait, no, you're right. It wasn't year 6. It was year 5. Because then the next year we would go up a year and they would, because my school was like shaped like an L, and you had the little kids in one bit and the slightly older kids in the other bit, and you had separate playgrounds. And there was a year when she got to come up into like all of a sudden we had all of our little minions together.
Oh, that's so
and we
cute.
would like help them out in the playground and play whatever we used to play.
Oh, yeah, we had split playgrounds as well for upper and lower school in junior school.
Yeah.
I remember the lower school, we had like a bit that was like a bit higher up. You had to go downstairs to go to the upper school playground. But we had like a little climbing wall and we had a little bark like sitting area. It was really nice. I remember like playing with Beyblades and Pokemon cards in that playground. But then the upper school we had like a little terrace thing, like a wooden thing, and I don't know what you call it. It's like the plastic that like melts into a surface. It's not like it's like it's something you have instead of concrete, I guess, because it's just a little bit softer. But I can't remember what they call it.
Sort of like tarmac, but really squidgy.
Yeah. We had something like that, and I remember they had a competition to design it, and they ended up with going with like a space design, which was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just rambling about school now. I'm just remembering all these little things.
Weirdly, in my junior primary school playground, we had these trees that were there was like a small square of concrete, and then there would be a tree. I think they were usually beech trees. Maybe? What are the ones that are like white and they're very peely?
I think that's beech, yeah.
We had those, and whenever, like a lot of the time, whenever I wake up from a dream with a hypnic jerk, it's because I've dreamt that I've been running in that playground and I've tripped on the edge of like the corner of where the trees were planted, and I fall over and I wake up from that. I never fell over there, but for some reason that is the dream that I have. I remember falling over in that playground once, and it was the mean teacher on playground duty that day, and she just looked down at me and just went, "You'll live." But she was right.
Wow.
To be fair. I did.
You did live. You did.
Stubbornly. Just to spite her.
So apparently a sycamore is white and peely.
Thinking sycamore. I also remember, this is just childhood memories now. I remember there was a time when 2 of the boys in my year decided that they were going to set up a hospital for insects, and they spent the entire lunchtime running around looking for insects that might need immediate medical attention.
Oh.
I wonder where they are now. The boys, not the insects. They must be grown men.
Grown insect doctors.
When you were talking about your teacher, actually, Mr. Evans, I was thinking like how funny it must be to like, when I think about my secondary school teachers, the fact that I must be like the same age, if not older, than they were when they taught me. Yeah. But they seem so grown up.
Yeah.
Like, they must have all just been pretending to be adults much as we do right now.
Definitely. Absolutely. I can see it because my goth art teacher, like she man, I feel like we'd vibe so much if she had any sort of online presence and I could reach out. Like I remember she used to put the Lord of the Rings soundtrack on when we were painting, and it's like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, she was just cool.
Yeah.
She was really cool.
Aww.
But she was definitely younger than we both are now, I think.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's like when I did this BBC show called Dixie, and it was filmed partly in the school in London. And I remember walking around the school and just being like, why is every teacher here so young? And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is how old my teachers were when I was at school. I was just like, what? Time is weird. It's very strange.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
I've taken up all of the podcast time with school talk. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm glad that we got to have a Kirsty special. 'Tis a rare treat.
Oh, a Kirsty special.
And it means we've still got my dream in the dream bank.
True.
Pop it back in the dream.
Get it back in the bag.
Dreamatorium.
I haven't remembered any of my fever dreams, so I'll just have to have another bath.
Oh no, don't do it. But yeah, speaking of which, a reminder, let us know any little dream experiments or sleep experiments that we can do.
Yeah.
Any tales you've heard that are meant to bring on
More dreams. Let us know.
We can give them a go.
Yeah. Nice.
And I'll have to find that thing and sleep with it under my pillow, and hopefully it won't smash.
I have to find some wedding cake.
Yeah. Just crash a wedding and just steal some. It would be
Yeah,
fine.
good idea, yeah.
Well, thank you for a very lovely chat, Kirsty.
Thank you, Bryony, and thank you, everybody listening.
And until next time, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.